Welcome to the Path to Purpose interview show, where we share our unique and universal stories about finding and fulfilling our purpose. My name is Katja, and I'm your host and a mentor for Lightworkers. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to purpose. Today, I have a pleasure to interview my fellow co-author from Teach Your Expertise book, Larissa Popov, who's divine business mentor. She has combined 35 years experience as a grad school instructor, spiritual teacher, and former naturopathic doctor. She helps business owners generate consistent income by helping them become more visible, show up with the powerful presence, and take bigger, bolder actions in their business. Let's find more about her path, and I will also ask her best tip on how you can become more visible. So let's get started here. So welcome, Larissa. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And I know I introduced you very briefly, 35 years of experience put on a couple of sentences.
Yeah.
So could you please share a little bit more about you and also share where you're located so we can put you on the map?
Yeah, I'm from Toronto, Ontario, which is in Canada. I've lived there my whole life. And actually, my first business before I got into being a divine business mentor, I was a naturopathic doctor. And so I'd like to share a little bit of my story so you have an appreciation of, how I ended up where I ended up. So I went into naturopathic medicine because I had a calling to heal people. I felt really strongly about I wanted to change the world. And so you have to be really passionate to go into a profession like that because it's a lot of education. It's a lot of training. It's very, very, very challenging. And so I came out of school feeling really good and confident about my ability to practice my craft, but we had very little business training. And, people go into this because they want to help people, not because they're good at business or they want to be good at business, right? And so here I am out in the world with all these skills, all this training and education, and yet I was struggling to make money. And I didn't have a lot of training. I had a little bit, but even the things that I learned that I knew I was supposed to be doing, like I should be doing workshops and networking and stuff like that, I couldn't bring myself to do it because it was terrifying. Either I was afraid of success, like I was afraid of like, oh my gosh, what if so many people know about me that I can't handle the workload? Or what if I get a patient that I don't know how to help? And, because I came from a background of being a spiritual teacher for 16 years. At that time, I'd been doing it for less than that. But, that was a big part of my life, being a spiritual teacher, even before I became a doctor. My values are really important to me. And I had a belief around being a spiritual person that I can't take people's money, or that money creates corruption, and you can't be spiritual and have a financially abundant life at the same time. So I pushed money away. I really could not stand the idea of taking people's money. I was used to doing volunteer work all the time and working for free because that was, it's a pure act. And so anything involving money felt icky and gross to me. Plus the idea of promoting myself, like going out there and being like, hey, everybody, I'm so awesome, and I felt like I had to be someone I wasn't. I felt like, okay, now here I am trying to make a living, and now I need to become like Tony Robbins or something and become this larger than life person that I'm not. And everything about it felt so wrong. So I couldn't do it. And as a result, I lived in poverty for many years. I worked like part-time jobs for very low, for just, above minimum wage, just to help pay my bills, because the number of clients that I was seeing was so little that it was barely getting by. But I was so passionate about this work. I had massive student loans to pay off. I needed to do that. And I was slugging and working really hard for very, very little. So it hit a breaking point at one point where I was like, how is this possible? How can I be such a capable, smart, hardworking person and like watching other people just take off and, you know, things come to them so easily. And I realized I was holding myself back. So eventually I hired a mentor, and I realized that it was me. I was holding myself back. And so I did the healing work that I needed to do on my relationship to money, my relationship to promoting and selling, and refining my skills. And then very soon after that, lo and behold, I doubled my practice. My practice was really growing quickly. And then at that point, I realized, as I was acknowledging that I can actually have what I want in my life, you know, I don't have to suffer and struggle. I realized that I wasn't so crazy about all the aspects of being a naturopathic doctor. I wasn't so much into the aspects of diagnosis. And what I was really passionate about was the mental, emotional side of things, and the spiritual inner work. And so over time, long story short, I ended up arriving into coaching. And this is what I do now for my clients, is that I help them with that, fast track that journey of going from, I have a service I want to share that I love, but the business stuff doesn't feel so comfortable to me, and helping them to get there so they feel confident to promote, to be visible, and to charge the rates that they want to charge so they can make a good living.
Oh, thank you for sharing your story, because I feel that is something so many heart-centered people experience. We just want to serve, we just want to support, and then like we get these trainings multiple many times, like course after course, having so much wisdom, so much gifts, and then there is nobody really teaching and supporting, like what do you do then when you have the certificate, when you have that education?
Yeah.
And I love the work that you do now to support others, to make life easier for them, that they don't need to struggle that long, keep going circles. And then because that brings also the doubt about your own gifts, like what's wrong with me, and the comparison. I have played the comparison game, like
yes,
like it's so easy to go and like, well, how come it's so easy for that person, and what's wrong with
what's
me?
wrong with me, you know, like, am I cursed, or like, are the planets not aligned? There's so many, you know, reasons and explanations and stories that we can make up about that. Yeah. And you kind of feel helpless, right? Because you're like, I'm doing so much, I'm working so hard, why isn't it working?
Yeah, and that's the beauty now, like you are there to be the light and supporting people on the journey, because it can go like really dark places as well when you start to self-doubt, and it goes the downward spiral. So you are there at the lighthouse now, like, hey, it's possible, it is possible to shift this. And you shared your own struggles in this, but one of the specific things from your description that you shared that jumped for me, and that's normally I always like when things pop up, I'm like, okay, that's the thing we need to talk about here.
Yes.
And one of the things for your case was the visibility.
Yeah.
And you shared a little bit on during your journey. Can you open up a little bit more on your own personal experience, and then we can talk about how you now help others, but like your own inner struggle with the visibility? Because like with the logical mind, we kind of know, yes, we need to go out there, be the Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
and then there is the struggle. So what was your journey with that, and what helped you the most to overcome that?
Right. Yeah. So the thing is, with being visible, we have to get out there, right? We have to get in front of people, whether it's virtually or in person. Right now, not so much in person, but we need to be seen by more people. And the thing is, it's a very vulnerable act to put yourself out there in front of others. And there's so many reasons why we get scared, or why those fears kick in. So I'd like you to reflect on those moments where you have had to be on camera, or you've had to stand in front of an audience, or even you've had maybe an important sales conversation or a business related conversation with someone at a networking event of some sort, and noticing that contraction that happens, you know, that you kind of shrink in your body. Maybe you feel tense somewhere in your body, in your shoulders, in your throat. Maybe your voice isn't so clear. there's something going on in your body that tells you that you don't feel relaxed, you don't feel comfortable. And there's all kinds of reasons or all types of fears that could be triggering that. For example, some of the biggest ones that I see among my clients, and by the way, I can relate, I'm sharing client experience because I can relate to all of it. Okay. I've experienced all of it. The fear of criticism is a huge one for people, right? That they feel like if I share something openly with people, or I share my gift, here I created this amazing program, but what if people don't like it? What if people don't think they think it's worthless, that it's going to create such a feeling of rejection or abandonment or trigger these feelings. And being criticized, fear of being criticized, that people might disagree with you. And then there's all kinds of triggers around our relationship to money. I'm going to ask people for money now, and any fears and doubts we have around money are going to come up when you're making that offer. Another huge one is the fear of being salesy or pushy, that if I'm sending out too many emails, or if I really remind people again and again about the importance of taking my offer or doing the work, that they're going to see me as pushy and salesy, and that is the last thing that I want to be. And so they're shame triggers, right? As soon as there's some quality that we just reject, we're like, no way, I'm not going there. What happens? As soon as we notice ourselves even a little bit going there, our nervous system shuts down and we contract. And that's why it doesn't matter how many marketing courses you've taken, and you know exactly what you should be doing, right? This workshop you're supposed to deliver, you should be going out there talking to these people. If at a nervous system level, you're having an inner conflict about it, your nervous system will stop you at a subconscious level, and you will either not take that action, right? You'll procrastinate, you'll avoid, make excuses. There's all kinds of ways that we sabotage ourselves. Or when we take action, it becomes very ineffective. Like it doesn't land as effectively as we would have liked. That insecurity and that doubt, maybe our voice isn't as clear, maybe our presence doesn't translate. We don't have as much access to our creativity, our intuition. We're not showing up as bright and really showing up in our gifts as effectively as we could be if we could just relax. And so what I like to term that in a kind of a global level is we're going against our nature. We're trying to be someone we're not. We're trying to protect ourselves from being something that we don't want to be. So we're going against our nature, and we need to go back to being ourselves, being natural, being relaxed, authentic. And so that our nervous system can calm down and relax. But sometimes that requires a little bit of inner work, because like I said, there's that conflict going on, that there's a part of me that doesn't agree with this. There's something wrong with this and I can't go there. So that's where the healing happens. So that's where the healing needs to happen.
And that is something I so can relate to. I was just like smiling because I remembered, I can see that has happened to me too. And I have done that too. And it is a learning journey. And I just love that you are now helping their people to go through that experience of learning and growth so that they can share their gifts. So beside, of course, contacting you, that would be my recommendation. If you recognize yourself, like, oh yeah, that's me, I'm doing that and I'm doing this. One of the ways is to get support, because you are not alone here. So get support from Larissa. And then I would ask you, Larissa, if people just like, okay, where can they start? Where can they start? What could be the first step besides contacting you, of course, but what could they do to start turning this around and becoming more visible?
Yeah. Well, the important thing is to start with a radical level of honesty. I call radical honesty because there are varying degrees of honesty that we have with ourselves, right? And sometimes we want to believe something about ourselves and it's actually not really true. So what I encourage you to do is start by being really aware of what's actually going on right now, not what you'd like it to be, but being really honest. And being honest like that requires a lot of compassion, right? You have to forgive yourself. You have to have compassion for the fact that, yes, this isn't going perfectly, and that's okay. I'm a human being. It's not my fault that, you know, these fears and doubts are coming up, and it's okay. Wherever I am is exactly perfect, because those triggers and those buttons that are getting pushed are your opportunities for growth, right? They're the signs. They're showing you this is an opportunity for you to grow and step into a greater version of yourself. So being honest with yourself is a beautiful act of self-love, and to start by being aware of what's actually going on. You know, if you're standing, whether you're sitting or standing, like right now, like for example, I'm singing from my camera, I can feel into my body, bring my awareness into my body, and just notice, can I feel my feet? Am I feeling the sensations in my body? What am I feeling right now? Am I feeling any emotions right now? So as you're doing your speech or whatever it is that you're doing, you're aware of what's going on inside, and just being honest about it and honoring that. I'm like, yep, I feel nervous. Or before you have to go meet, before you do a networking event or a big workshop, you acknowledging and honoring, yeah, I do feel nervous, and that's okay. You know, and this is an important thing I'm about to do. It's a big step. I'm taking action, and just starting with that awareness, and even writing down any beliefs or thoughts that are coming up as you notice this is happening for you in whatever situation. And I really am a strong believer in writing things down, because they become concrete, they become tangible, and you become exponentially more aware of it than you are if it's a thought. Thoughts are fleeting, right? You have millions of thoughts all day long, but when you put it on paper, you can see it clearly, and it just exponentially elevates the level of awareness and clarity that you have about what's going on. So that's a project for you. I encourage you to do, and love yourself in that way. Give yourself that attention, and just really honor the truth of whatever's happening for you right now.
That's beautiful. And I so totally agree. Like, writing things down, because our mind can be very slippery slope when we go. And then also having that compassion and love when you recognize, oh, maybe I'm nervous. So instead of like, oh, you shouldn't be nervous, like just have that compassion and love. So you said it so beautifully. And now we can move to talk a little bit more about writing things down, because you are the co-author of Teach Your Expertise book. So you did write a chapter.
Yes. So my chapter is called Is Fear Holding You Back? And in that chapter, I share a little bit about my story, as well as the types of confidence that we need to have as a business owner, so that we really can show up and be more visible, so that we can attract more clients and increase our profits in our business. I also included a little exercise on looking at our value, because one of the biggest buttons that I see among my clients and heart-centered entrepreneurs in particular is that we really feel strongly about the work that we do and the value that it delivers. But when it comes to promoting it and putting it out in the world, we question and doubt it, and we often undervalue ourselves. And so I have a little exercise in there so that you can kind of do a little self-assessment to see if that's happening for you. And in that book as well, I'm offering a free gift, and that is my Charisma Connection Style quiz. I really enjoyed creating this quiz. It's a quick 2-minute quiz. And when you opt in, you'll receive a personalized report from me that is going to tell you about your unique client connection style and all the unique gifts that you bring into your business to help promote yourself, that helps you attract your clients. And also it shares the unique challenges that you face. Being that particular style, what kind of things that you bump up against that might actually be turning clients away or turning sales away. And I'm also providing with that report a toolkit of practices that you can do to really bring out those unique gifts and show up and shine in your best light according to your type, as well as some specific strategies you could use in your business to help optimize your, according to your style, that what the gifts that you have, what types of strategies in your business that would really serve you the best to grow your business.
Wow, that is amazing value. I was like, I want to do that quiz.
Yeah, it was super fun to create. I had a lot of fun making it, so I'm excited to share it with you.
And so get the book, click the link below and you get the book and all these amazing gifts as well, because we really want to support you to teach your expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are coming towards the end of our time here together. So I just want to ask, do you have a special message that you would like to share to close this interview?
Well, the thing is, I just want you to know that regardless of what background you're coming from and what business you're in, that you can be good at business. You can create a profitable business, but you do need to have the skills, and you can learn those skills. And believe me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And just to do the inner work, because the inner work is, in my opinion, and what a lot of the scientific research has shown, 95% of our behavior is driven by our subconscious mind. So we need to do the inner work that is holding us back. So we need to know what actions to take, but we also need to clear the fears and doubts and do that healing work so that we can really take action and really move forward efficiently. So it's definitely all possible for you, and you can do it.
Thank you. Yes, you can do it. And there is a lot of support and help available. And one of this is this book. So thank you so much, Larissa, for your time and all your work. You are helping so many. And thank you for watching the Path to Purpose interview show. I am so delighted that you have been here. And if you want more support on your path, join Lightworkers Who Succeed on Purpose community here on Facebook. And I'm sending you so much light and love. Stay well and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.